Hi YouTubers, today I'm going to do a bit of a review. I don't know how long it'll end up being, but I do want to do a good review of this, which is the Meike MK-910 Speedlight. Basically this is, well, if you're watching this you probably know what it is. It's a speedlight for your DSLR camera, but the key thing is it looks exactly like a Nikon speedlight, the SB910. Even the model number is very similar, so instead of the SB910 it's the MK910. I think they also do an MK900 which probably matches the 900, but hopefully it doesn't overheat as often as that one does. So if we just do a very quick comparison here, I mean, look at the two of them. They do look incredibly similar. I mean, the buttons look exactly the same. There's a dial, you know, even the flippy locking mechanism is identical. The screen looks similar size, and they even look very, very, very similar in size, if not identical in size. I mean, you know, look at the two side by side. Can you see any difference really in terms of dimensions? I really can't. I mean, if I showed you that, which is which, impossible to tell really, isn't it? So I mean, if you're considering this, you're probably after an inexpensive speedlight. This one on eBay costs about $120. On Amazon, I think I bought this one for £77. The Nikon on the right obviously is a lot more money. It's over 300 quid. I can't even remember how much it was now when I bought it. But I think the thing that you want to know the most, of course, is how they perform. So before we do that, let's just go through the box and the specs, and then we can take it from there really. So first of all, I mean, the box came very quickly. Next day delivery from Amazon. They're really good like that. The first thing to know, and the reason why I decided to go for one of these, is because I wanted a fairly high-powered flash for off-camera use. I didn't particularly want to put a Nikon 910 or even an SB-700 on top of a light stand, because, you know, sometimes wind blows it over, someone might trip over it and knock it over, or, you know, many reasons why putting a very expensive flash on top of a light stand isn't a good idea. So when I saw this one on a forum and had a look at it, I thought the specs look actually, you know, very impressive. I mean, there's a guide number there, as you can see, of 60. You know, it supports high-speed sync. It's a TTL flash. Supports slave mode, master slave mode, S1 and S2 as well. Basically, more than I would ever probably need. So I thought, hey, for £77, why not? Okay, so the first thing I noticed when it came, it comes in a case, which is like this. Let me zoom out a bit and then you can see a bit more. And this, obviously the flash goes in that. And that's it. Nothing else comes with it. You don't even get a little stofing with it. At the front here is the bit where you can plug in external power. I can't get that off at the moment. If you want to obviously use an external battery pack, there's a PC sync cord there if you want to attach it to a cable. But the main thing is you know, how does it work when you turn it on? So turn it on and it doesn't look that bad. You know, the mode button does the same thing as the Nikon does. There you go, you put it in TTL, press mode again, and you've got your manual mode there. If you press the little, I don't know if you can see that, if you press the little M button there, then you can rotate the dial and change the power to a different power setting, and it goes in thirds of an increment, so that's good. If you want to move the zoom head, you can press the little zoom button here, and then again you can change it, and you can hear the zoom head zooming. Okay, then of course you get a little test button here as well. There you go. Okay, and then you've got remote and master mode, which is interesting because I've had a quick look at this. I can't say I've had a big play with it. It's supposed to support the Nikon Creative Light system. I've no idea if it does. I presume it does, but the master mode looks nothing like the Nikon. So if I just grab the Nikon one, oops, so I mean, you know, look, I can control, on the Nikon I can control 3 remote flashes, as well as the on-camera one, which is currently set to TTL. On this one I have not a clue what I do to configure it. Okay, in terms of build quality, on paper and in the pictures it all looks very, very similar, but just I mean, I don't know if you can hear that, it's very, very plasticky, whereas if I do the Nikon one, there's a much more solid feeling to that. I mean, of course, you know, you get what you pay for at the end of the day. That in itself, I mean, it's a metal hot shoe. Wouldn't bother me too much if that was the only thing. Ditto with some of the buttons. It's not as, you know, the Nikon feels a lot more chunky. The buttons do, but this one, especially the on-off switch as well, it just feels a little bit on the cheap side, but it's nothing that you would sort of go, oh no, you know, it's no good. It's fine. Interestingly enough, this is the Stoffen from the 910. This is how much of a real copy it is, really. It actually fits the 910 Stoffen on top. So, you know, if you like using Stoffens like I do, then just pick one up off eBay or something. The other thing worth noting, really, let's take that for a second, is the way the head rotates is, you know, it freely rotates in 270 degrees, I guess. The key difference is with the Nikon you have to press the little side button in, and I actually prefer the Meike version, because what I found is sometimes you have to press it. It can get a bit awkward, whereas this one you just turn it quickly, and it saves you that couple of seconds sometimes, which is a bit of a pain. You've got your wide angle adapter and your bounce card, not much to say there. It's nice and easy to get out, like it is on the Nikons. Compared to the Yongnuos, I hate those because I can never get that wide angle adapter out. It drives me nuts. Okay, so that's the main introduction. I mean, in terms of looks, they do look incredibly the same. If you want a cheap flash, then there it is. What I will do next is set it up so that we can get some power readings from it to give you an idea. I'll also bring out some of my other flashes that I've got, so we can compare them and see how much this gives you. I mean, at the end of the day, the box says it is a guide number of 60. We all know that these should be taken with a pinch of salt, but let's see in the real world how different it really is. Hi everyone, this is part 2 of my testing of the Meike MK-910. In part 1 I went through some of the observations I had of this flash that I've just got. What I'm going to do here is test it against a couple of flashes I've got, which is on the right hand side we've got the Nikon SB910, which is the flagship Nikon flash, as you probably already know. In the middle there we've got the Yongnuo YN568, which is a very popular flash that a lot of people use. The aim of this test really is just to test the power and see how it compares against the other two flashes. So what I've got here is, on the bottom I've got some Yongnuo triggers. They're set to different channels so I can control them, and in my hand here I've got my trusty Sekonic light meter, so I'll use that to measure the output of the light from a distance of about, I think it'll be about 2 meters. It's not precise, but I'll stand in the same spot, so it'll be you know, the same test basically. So okay, so what I'm going to do now is just configure it so that I will trigger the Nikon flash. Incidentally, all the flashes are set to full power with the zoom head set to 35mm, so it's exactly the same, just to give it as fair a comparison as I can. So okay, so let me just stand in the right position. So the first one we've got was the Nikon, and if I can zoom in on this, that gave us a reading of f10. So let's see how that does compared to, say, the Yongnuo. The Yongnuo was the one in the middle. Just get these settings right. Okay, this is the Yongnuo. Okay, as you can see here, the Yongnuo in the middle did f8. And let's repeat that with the Meike MK-910 and let's see how that compares. Okay, as you can see, the Meike has come in significantly under the Nikon f6.3. Okay, so I hope that gives you an idea of the power anyway. I'll write some thoughts on my website, which I'll post a link to in the comments below. Click on the link and you can read a bit more about it. Thank you very much.